to History of Japan. Prehistoric Japan, Jomon and Yayoi periods. The Jomon people are considered Japan's earliest settlers, known for their unique pottery with rope-like designs. They lived a hunter-gatherer lifestyle with tools made from stone and bones. Early forms of agriculture and trade began, but their society remained relatively egalitarian. Yayoi period, 300 BCE, 250 CE. The Yayoi people brought rice cultivation and advanced metal tools from mainland Asia. Social structures became more complex, leading to a class-based society. Villages turned into fortified towns, and the population grew rapidly. Trade with Korea and China introduced iron, bronze, and new cultural influences, including the beginnings of a centralized political system. Formation of the Japanese state. Named after the large keyhole-shaped burial mounds, Kofun, this period saw the rise of powerful clan-based states. The Yamato clan, located in modern-day Nara, began to assert dominance over other regions, setting the foundation for the Japanese imperial family. Shintoism became more formalized as the native belief system, emphasizing the worship of nature spirits, or kami. Introduction of Buddhism in Chinese. Buddhism was introduced from Korea in the 6th century, leading to cultural and religious changes. Prince Shotoku, 574-622, played a crucial role in promoting Buddhism and Chinese-style governance, creating Japan's first constitution, known as the 17-Article Constitution. Contact with China influenced Japan's writing system, political structure, and art, marking the beginning of the cultural transformation. Nara period, 794 CE. The capital was established in Nara, modeled after the Chinese capital of Chang'an. Japan adopted Chinese bureaucratic systems, creating laws based on the Ritsuryo system, a legal code derived from Tang China. Buddhism flourished under state sponsorship, with grand temples like Todaiji being constructed. The Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, Japan's earliest historical records, were compiled during this period. The rise of the samurai and feudalism. The capital moved to Heian-kyo, modern-day Kyoto, marking a period of peace and cultural refinement. Aristocratic families, especially the Fujiwara clan, gained political control through marriage alliances with the imperial family. Classical Japanese culture blossomed with achievements in literature, The Tale of Genji by Murasaki Shikibu, and arts, poetry, calligraphy, and painting. However, political power gradually shifted away from the central court to local military clans as landowners began to arm themselves, laying the groundwork for feudalism. Kamakura period, 323 CE. The rise of the samurai class culminated in the establishment of the Kamakura shogunate by Minamoto no Yoritomo, the first military government in Japan's history. The emperor remained a figurehead, while real power resided with the shogun and his samurai. Japan faced two Mongol invasions in 1274 and 1281, both of which were repelled, partly due to typhoons, referred to as kamikaze, or divine winds. The increasing military focus led to cultural changes, with Zen Buddhism becoming popular among the warrior class, emphasizing discipline and self-control. The Age of Civil Wars. The Ashikaga shogunate took control, with the capital moving back to Kyoto. This era saw the flourishing of cultural achievements such as no theater, tea ceremonies, and ink painting, alongside political instability. The Onin War, 1467 to 1477, caused widespread destruction and weakened the shogunate, leading to the Sengoku Warring States period. Sengoku period, 1467-1603 CE. Century of constant warfare as regional lords, daimyo, vied for power and control. It was during this period that Portuguese traders and Christian missionaries arrived in Japan, introducing firearms and Christianity. Figures like Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu emerged as major unifiers. Nobunaga began the process of consolidating Japan under a central authority, but it was Ieyasu who completed the unification, establishing the Tokugawa shogunate in 1603. The Tokugawa shogunate, Edo period. The Tokugawa shogunate ruled from Edo, modern Tokyo, bringing an era of peace and stability. Japan adopted an isolationist foreign policy, Sakoku, limiting trade to a few Dutch and Chinese traders, while Christianity was banned. Society became highly structured, with a rigid class hierarchy: samurai, farmers, artisans, and merchants. Despite isolation, Japan's internal economy flourished and urban culture developed, with popular forms of entertainment like kabuki theater and ukiyo-e woodblock prints. Intellectual movements such as Neo-Confucianism and later Kokugaku, national learning, emphasized Japan's cultural identity and native traditions. The Tokugawa Shogunate. The Tokugawa Shogunate ruled from Edo, modern Tokyo, bringing an era of peace and stability. Japan adopted an isolationist foreign policy, Sakoku, limiting trade to a few Dutch and Chinese traders, while Christianity was banned. Society became highly structured, with a rigid class hierarchy: samurai, farmers, artisans, and merchants. Despite isolation, Japan's internal economy flourished, and urban culture developed, with popular forms of entertainment like kabuki theater and ukiyo-e woodblock prints. Intellectual movements such as Neo-Confucianism and later Kokugaku, national learning, emphasized Japan's cultural identity and native traditions. The Meiji Restoration and Modernization. In 1868, the Tokugawa shogunate was overthrown, and Emperor Meiji was restored to power. This marked the end of feudal rule and the beginning of Japan's modernization. Japan rapidly industrialized, adopting Western technologies, military systems, and government structures. The Meiji Constitution of 1889 established a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system, and Japan sought to become a global power. The country modernized its military, achieving victories in the First Sino-Japanese War, 1894-1895, and Russo-Japanese War, 1904-1905, gaining territories like Taiwan and Korea. Imperial Japan and World War II. Japan expanded its empire and influence in Asia during World War I, siding with the Allies. Domestically, the Taisho era was marked by a shift toward democratic reforms and political liberalization, but economic struggles also began to emerge. Showa period, 1926-1929 CE. In the 1930s, Japan turned towards militarism and imperialism, invading Manchuria in 1931 and establishing a puppet state. Japan's expansionism led to its involvement in World War II. The surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought Japan into conflict with the U.S. and its allies. After years of devastating warfare, including the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, Japan surrendered, marking the end of the war and its empire. Post-war Japan and the economic miracle. Japan was placed under U.S. occupation, and a new constitution was enacted in 1947, renouncing war and establishing a parliamentary democracy. The country focused on rebuilding its economy, receiving assistance from the U.S., and benefiting from the Korean War boom in the 1950s. Economic miracle, 1950s-1980s. Japan experienced rapid economic growth, becoming a global leader in electronics, automobiles, and technology. By the 1980s, Japan had become the second largest economy in the world. Cultural exports such as anime, manga, and consumer electronics contributed to Japan's soft power influence worldwide. Contemporary Japan. The economic bubble burst in the early 1990s, leading to a prolonged period of stagnation known as the Lost Decades. Despite economic challenges, Japan maintained its position as a global leader in technology and innovation. The country continued to navigate challenges such as an aging population and low birth rates. Reiwa period, 2019, present. Under Emperor Naruhito, Japan faces modern challenges such as economic stagnation, climate change, and regional security issues. Japan continues to play a major. Like and subscribe to my channel.